guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Cody if you're new here, and today we're just going to yap about all of the books I've read so far of 2026, so January, February, March, and I think possibly April because I don't see myself finishing any more books this month because we're already on the 20th when I'm filming this, so probably my April wrap up as well. So a 4-month reading wrap up for you guys, and there's not actually that many books because I am a slow reader, but that's fine. I think that's everything you need to know. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Let's dive into the video and get started on all of the books I read in January. So January, I was off to a good start. I read 3 books, however I DNF'd one. So I started the month off strong with City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, and this is part of the Shadowhunter series, and these are some of the books that first got me into reading when I was in my early teens, and I wanted to reread them for a really long time, but I no longer had them as they were on my Kindle and my Kindle died. So when I got gifted these for, I think it was Christmas, I was so excited to reread this series, and it still lives up to the test of time. But if you haven't heard of or watched or seen the film, because there's a TV show, a film franchise, and obviously the book. So if you haven't heard of the Shadowhunter series, you're basically following Clary Fray, and she's in New York and she lives with her mum and she has a very mundane life, and one night for her 16th birthday she goes to a young teen nightclub, I want to say, with her friend Simon Lewis, and she sees something she shouldn't have seen. And that's where you dive into the Shadowhunter world, and there's warlocks and there's angels and there's demons, and it's just such a good series. Like, I wanted to reread it, and it was honestly so nostalgic to reread this book, and I gave it 5 stars because this series and these characters are still honestly everything to me, and it just felt so comforting to reread one of my favourite books. Like, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to, like, this is a book you could sit down and have a cup of tea with. A bit like Anne of Green Gables. Like, when I say Anne of Green Gables is like coming home and having a cup of tea with your best friend, that is what this series feels like. It just feels like sitting down under a blanket, being enveloped by a warm hug. I don't know how else to describe the series. I'm not gonna lie, have never actually finished this series. I started reading the last book ages ago and I never finished it, so I'm excited to see how this series ends. I obviously know up until the 6th book, and then it's a complete mystery to me, and there are other books and I will be reading them. So if you haven't read it, highly recommend it. I gave it 5 stars and it probably will always be a 5-star read for me, and that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. The next book of January was City of Ash, which is the next book in the Shadowhunter series. I actually gave this one 3.5 to 4 stars. This one just didn't really do it for me. Like, I remember, obviously, first time reading it, I remember what happened and I remembered some of it, but this one was just like, to say there's not much action in this one, there is, but it's not as fun. It's obviously still good because I gave it 4 stars, but it's just not as fun. I can't really get into what happens in it because obviously it's the 2nd book in the series, and telling you anything about it will spoil it, and I don't want to do that. Because if you ever do go into this series, you're not going to want any spoilers. That's just how it is with this series. You don't want anything to be spoiled. Maybe go into it blind. Like, I think that would be so much fun to go into it blind, not watching the show, not watching the film, not having read or heard anything of this series, because sorry, the light was reflecting on that and that was really bugging me, because it's honestly so good, and the covers are stunning. Like, the cover art, come on. Oh, and they line up to make a picture. Okay, the next book is the book I DNF'd in January, and this was actually I didn't want to DNF it because this is actually the book club book that I have with my sister, and my brother-in-law actually joined in for this book because he was actually really interested in it as well. And I didn't want to DNF it, I really didn't, but I didn't enjoy it. That's just how it is. I got 100 and something I didn't write how many pages I got into it, but I got about 100 and something pages into this book, and I just couldn't go on. I couldn't do it anymore. So that is Mad Honey by Jennifer Feeney Bolan. I was actually recommended this book by someone I used to work with, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I've never read a book like that. And it's actually meant to be a murder mystery thriller, I think. I don't know, I didn't finish it. I'll read you the blurb. So, the body of an 18-year-old girl is found at the bottom of the stairs in her family home. Only 2 people know the truth behind what happened. One of them is dead, and the other is your son. So it's like a murder thriller vibe. I don't want to slate this book because obviously I didn't finish it. I did look up how it ended because I wanted to know, just not enough to finish reading it. I know that sounds bad, I'm really sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But for a murder mystery, it's called Mad Honey, and there's a bee on the front cover and there's honey in the title. For a murder mystery, I'm not going to slate it. I'm just going to say this book felt like reading a bee encyclopedia book or a beekeeping 101 how to keep bees book. Because every time they're I'm trying not to say it, because every time they get into like the murder mystery part, you'd be in the what's the jury? Not the jury, the where the crime what is it called? Courtroom. Thank you, brain. You'd be in the courtroom hearing about the case, and they'd be putting their side to it, and in the mum's head all she's thinking about is beekeeping facts and what she wants to do with her bees. And I'm just like, it throws you so out of the story because she's a beekeeper, and it's like every time I'd get a bee fact or a fact about honey or a fact about something to do with her bees, it would throw me completely out of the story, and I'd be like, no, but I'm here for the murder. Like, I want to know what's happening with the story, and is your son murdered someone? I don't really want to know about your bees in the nicest possible way. So I couldn't get into it, and we did DNF this as a book club, so just take from that what you will, and I won't give it a rating because I DNF'd it. That's not fair because I didn't finish it, but I didn't have a good time is what I'm going to say. Okay, so those were all my January reads. We read 3 books in January. We are now on to February. I'm just going to tell my little book journal reference that I have, because I journal my books once I read them and review them. So let's get up to date with that. Okay. The next book is another Cassandra Clare book. I went back to the Shadowhunter series, which is City of Glass, and this is the 3rd book in the series. So this one I actually rated 4 stars, and this one was actually one of my favourite books of the series when I reread it the first time. So rereading this one was so good. I literally remembered reading it for the first time. Like, I remembered where I sat and what I was doing, and then rereading it, it was taking me back to that time, and it was such a simpler time, and it was so good. So this one is amazing. I think it probably would still be my favourite one out of all of them, because this one's quite thick. There's a lot that happens in this book, and yeah, no, I love this book. Just thinking about everything that happens in this one, I love this one. This book in the series is so good, and I'm just having a good time rereading these books. So City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, 4 stars. And again, another stunning cover. The next book I read in February was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by sorry. The next book I read in February was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan? I hope I'm saying that right. And I actually only own 5 of the Percy Jackson books currently. I think there's like 10. And I actually wanted to read this because I watched the Percy Jackson and the Olympians on Disney Plus, and I got sucked in. Obviously I'd watched the films before that. I didn't think much of them, I'm not gonna lie. But the TV series is amazing. and I would recommend you watch it, and maybe it'll even inspire you to read the books like it did for me. I'm reading the books, obviously they're for, I want to say they're for children. I believe they're for children. So they're quite easy to read. The font's quite big. I had a good time. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I don't have much else to partake on how I felt about reading this book. If you haven't heard of Percy Jackson, you're basically following a, I want to say he's 14, young teen. What did it say on the back so I don't give anything away? Okay, yeah. Young teen discovering that he's part god. He's a half-blood, he's part, I'm trying to think of ways to describe this. He's part Greek god, part human, so he's a demigod per se. Half-blood type situation. You're following like Greek gods. You're learning about the Greek gods. There's like this camp and they go to camp. Is that on the back? I don't want to spoil anything. It's not on the back. But they go to this camp and it's called like Camp Half-Blood, and it basically they train on how to become a god, how to fight like a god. Just watch the show or either read the book, because I don't want to give too much away, but basically in this one you're following Percy and he has to discover who has stolen Zeus's lightning bolt. And that is all I will say, because otherwise I would give too much away about what happens and who he meets and all of the things that happen, and I don't want to spoil it. So that is the second book I read in February, and that is the February wrap up. I didn't read a lot in February. I don't know why, I don't have an excuse for that. So I read 2 books. I would say one of them's quite chunky, so I will let myself off for that. Normally I'm reading monthly 2 to 3 books. That's my monthly wrap up. So we are on to March. If you haven't seen my Heated Rivalry reading video, you will not know that I had a Heated Rivalry discovery month per se in March. So I bought Heated Rivalry. I did a reading vlog on it. If you want to know my deep thoughts in that one, it's on this channel, so you can watch that. But I gave this one 4 stars in that video. We have now bumped that up to 5 stars. This book is honestly everything to me and now lives rent-free in my brain. I have read it twice, so this is also my April reading wrap up, and I have also, wait a minute, I have annotated it. It has become like a holy grail. Where's the other stickers? I've got more stickers. It's become like a holy grail read for me, and it's got, let me find you an annotated page that hopefully doesn't have any spice in it, to be honest, because it's a spicy book. But like, I've annotated so many pages in this book, and I love it. I love it. It's 5 stars. I would recommend reading it. It's an MM romance. You're following Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, and it spans over the course of 8 years, and they're rival hockey players. I think that's all I can say without giving too much of this book away. And honestly, I hadn't heard of Heated Rivalry until the show was doing its rounds on Instagram, and I was getting so many Instagram reels and pictures from the show recommended to me on my Instagram, and I was like, okay. And then a lot of the YouTubers and BookTok people, bookstagrammers that I follow were raving about this book, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. So I went into it blind, and that was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. So this is now an Infinity Star read, and I love it, and I will recommend it until my dying breath. So that's how strongly I feel about this book. But please read it. 5 stars. And then the next book I read was The Long Game by Rachel Reed. This is the, as you can see, I'm currently annotating this one as well. That is my reread for April. So This is really handy dandy as well because I can shove my pencils into it. This is the second book in the Ilya and Shane series, not the second book in the series altogether. This is called the Game Changer series. This is, I think, the 6th book in that series, but I'm not reading them in order. That's just what I'm doing with my life. But I'm currently rereading this one. This one I think will be either... I'm probably just going to say 5 stars. I was going to say 4. I know I'm going to bump it up to 5. I can't get enough of these boys, honestly. I can't tell you much that happens in this one because obviously it's the second one of this one and you don't want any spoilers, but please read it. This is where they are after the 8-year situationship. You jump up to this book and you continue following them along with their careers and their lives, and you just find out more of what goes on in their heads, because obviously in this one you don't get a lot of the communication, as I've said in my heated rivalry video. This one you get everything. It's honestly sad, I'm not gonna lie. It's a really sad read, and I'm inflicting that sadness upon myself twice because this will be the second time I've read it. So I'm currently as I say, on the reread. I am on page 151, but I don't know if you can see. Probably not, because I've used lighter colours in this one, but the reread is going strong. And I will be sticking stickers in this one as well. I am trying to create some sort of like, not like a scrap journal type situation, but like there's things I want to like insert into this one, like there's a monologue in the show that isn't in the book that I kind of want to put on that page that is really powerful, and I don't know, there's just things I want to do that just make them more personal. But I am loving my time in these books, and I'm loving my time with these characters, and I'm just having a great time reading them. So that is my March wrap up, and these are both 5 stars. And I'm having a great time. And also my April reading wrap up. If I happen to finish this one, again, the next book I will finish, which is over there, is another Cassandra Clare book. She's a little bit dusty because I've been reading this one, I'm not gonna lie. She's been sitting out for a while because these boys have taken up my time and my brain constantly. But I will be jumping back into the Shadowhunter series. I was nearly 100 pages into this one, and she's quite a small one. So if I happen to finish this one, I will finish this one. I know myself. So that will be the April reading wrap up. Will be 2 rereads and jumping back into this one. So to wrap that all up in a neat little bow, try to anyway, I read 3 fantasy books, 1 DNF'd mystery thriller, 1 Greek mythology, is it Greek? I'm gonna say this is Greek mythology. 1 Greek mythology type book, and then 2 hockey romance books. So I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books so far this year in 4 months, which is okay. It's not the best wrap up I've ever had, but we are trying our best. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and had some good recommendations. I have 3 5-star books in this video, so hopefully you take away something to read. And I also had a 4-star book. Bear in mind they were mostly Shadowhunter books and the Mortal Instruments series, but still good. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and hype this video up. And I will see you guys again soon with either another book video or a vlog or a reading wrap up. But I feel like you've had my April reading wrap up, so there may not be a wrap up until May. So I'll see you guys again soon. Bye for now.